Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Bonjour, buenos dias, irashimase, and mahaban. I'm sorry that my language skills aren't better, but I really wanted to welcome you and thank you for being with us today. This is the second year we've been able to offer the Fab Month to the community, and it's a great way to disseminate the work that is going on in the community and affecting and impacting the world really. This year we're going to have three sessions for Fab Month. Today's session, and then again we'll meet on April 19th. I'm sorry, 14th, and on April 25th, all at 9 a.m. EDT. In each session, we're going to hear about the great network projects that are growing and making impact within their own communities. And I'm sure you're going to be inspired by their work. I am certainly inspired by this work. And this year it's a little unusual because we're going to have many quick talks as opposed to a few long talks. And so we get to hear from more of you about the great work that you're doing. Today's theme is around local impact and community-driven innovation. And at this point, I would love to turn it over to Norella Coronel to guide us through the morning. So thank you again and welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Sherry. And yeah, welcome everybody again to this second edition of Fab Month. This year, we tried to switch it up a little bit. We wanted to hear from other people inside the community and to learn about the amazing work that you guys are doing. We will be having this morning, this side of the world, 10 talks. And we are going to start with Rico and Sarah with the first talk of the morning, of the day, sorry, regenerating neighborhood perspectives. So with you, Rico and Sarah.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Hopefully you can see my screen without too many obstructions. Are we good?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, let me set up my notes so I can see what I'm going to say here and try to be on time. Right. Okay. So in the summer of 2024, a team of international Fab Lab members participated in a Fab City challenge titled Regenerating Neighborhood Perspectives. So today's talk will recount the experiences from this event as a case study of how a Fab Lab can be instrumental as a contributor to positive change for a troubled community. Two questions were asked. How can a Fab Lab be the epicenter for positive social impact? How to nurture the return of pride and dignity to a community. And with that, let me turn it over to my very good friend, Sara Dominguez at Faro, who is calling in from Cancun, where we did the challenge. Don't forget to unmute, Sara.
Thank you, Rico. The Fab City Challenge that we set up here aim to provide real solutions for a neighborhood called Villas Otoch Paraíso. This means Paradise Village House, or BOP for short. To give you a little bit of context, BOP is a housing project on the outskirts of Cancun that is the home to 40,000 residents. This is a workers' toll in Cancun resort industry who occupy 14,000 apartments that are only 35 square meters. Suffering from cramped living conditions and low income, Villa Sotoch Paraíso BOP residents face many social hardships as a community. And to make matters worse, the criminal elements also prey on members of this neighborhood, giving Villa Sotoch Paraíso the reputation as being one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city. So it's a far contrast from what its name implies in this paradisiac idyllic city. But here at Faro, what we do is an arts and culture focused community center. Established in 2022 to help projects, the residents, to help the project's residents recover joy and dignity in their lives through creative collective activities. I'm sorry for my English.
You're doing great. All right. So from May to June of 2024, the international members met weekly with the FARO coordinators and the Villa Otoch Paraiso residents. These conversations helped us to clarify the true situation in Villa Otoch and the challenges as well as the beauty that is inherent to this community. From the Villa Otoch residents who came and spoke to us, we heard their hope for change and also their desire to create a viable set of solutions for their community. From the beginning, the FARO team and the Fab City Challenge team agreed on two very important policies. One is to listen and understand first, and then devise solutions and do this together. The foreign team listened actively to residents speak about the VOP community, asking questions with sincerity to ensure that the needs and aspirations of the local residents were well understood. The frequent engagement ultimately engendered trust and a cohesive local team. Solution crafting at the end of June proceeded very smoothly as all parties, local and foreign, were in alignment in formulating strategies to be executed on site in July. Sarah?
I was muted again. At FARO, the six foreign challenge members split up in 3 teams to tackle 3 different VOP issues: negative external perception, flawed urban design, and low income. Team 1 created an online presence for VOP to allow residents to share, communicate, and show the outside world that VOP has a thriving and vibrant community despite its challenges. Team 2 focused on increasing and improving shared spaces to help improve community interaction and community solidarity. Team 3 offered 3D modeling, 3D printing, and molding and casting workshops to empower VOP's youth with new skills and income generation options. The Fab City Challenge executed at FARO and VOP members was a successful demonstration of the power of sincere collaborative effort and the potential of a Fab Lab as an instrument for social impact innovation. The one-week event concluded, but the energy and momentum generated continues to fuel ongoing communities at FARO, such as a blender club, a new working station, a new Fab Lab setup, and more to be told. Some of the key learnings that we had that led to the success of this event is the importance of active listening, the importance of sincerity to engender trust, the importance of interest alignment, the importance of collaborative planning, and the importance of follow-through. I'm sorry I interrupted you, Rico.
No, that's fine. That's it. That's all we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rico and Sarah. That was a really good insight into what was going on after and during the challenge in FARO. So we're gonna move on. We were supposed to wait for Martin, but Martin, I don't see him still here. Maybe he has some connectivity issues. So we're gonna move on with Jair Leon with Ruwaytech in Tambu. So Jair.
Okay, Ruwaytech on Tambos. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put my text here. Okay, good day everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'll be presenting a project, Ruwaytech, empowering rural communities through mini Fab Labs, developed by the Digital Fabrication Laboratory at Universal Continental in Peru. So, well, first of all, the word Ruway means, comes from Quechua, means to do or to create, while tech refers to technology. And that is precisely our goal, to strategically and sustainably bring technology to rural communities throughout Peru. Well, this initiative has been carried out in collaboration with the Ministry of Development and Social Inclusion, MIDIS, through the PAIS program. The PAIS program means the Platform for Social Inclusion Action. Okay, so we are trying with working with the government. This is a tambo, as you can see, has many things. And these platforms are known as tambos. So they are permanent facilities located in rural, remote areas of the Peruvian highlands and jungle. They provide essential services to local communities. The primary objective of these tambos are reducing the gap in access to public services in rural areas and significantly improving the quality of life for people living in poverty and extreme poverty. So we are including in those tambos a mini Fab Lab, as you can see here. Okay, so currently there are more than 500 tambos throughout Peru, located across all regions. Tambos provide internet access, soup kitchens, biodigesters, emergency kits, and much more. So there are plenty of them. But how are we empowering these tambos throughout our laboratory? As you can see in the template, the answer is very simple and yet powerful. By implementing mini Fab Labs and technological literacy programs tailored specifically to address the challenge faced by these rural communities. Thanks to our collaboration with the ministry, we are training the local population to become part of an economically active workforce, engaging fathers, students, and teachers of the Continental University alongside children, parents, and community educators of every tambo. Now I'm showcasing children aged from 3 years old to 13 years old from communities such as Chachastoril, Colca Lake, Tisco, Cotacota, Chalhuanca, Humachulco, Chicotaña. Also, we have our Fab Lab mobile or mobile Fab Lab. Some of our results are that we have over 2,500 hours dedicated to manufacturing, more than 6,000 kilometers traveled, 800 children educated through STEAM methodologies, and over 25 tambos visited. Remember that there are more than 500. So, as you can see in this image, our vision is clear. We would like to drive social, economic, and technological development in rural communities through the transformative power of digital fabrication. It is not only about providing training and STEAM robotic classes. It is about motivating and channeling that knowledge into practical solutions for social or for local challenges. Through this approach, we aim to cultivate proactive citizens who actively participate in future projects such as nutrition trapping app for anemia, alpaca spinning machines, automated corn shelling machine, and wind energy diode. Every project is thought for every rural community. And as you can see, we align our students, our teachers, our fathers with children, with local teacher communities. This is Ruwai Tech. We are working on this since 2021. There are plenty of kids being educated through STEAM methodologies, and this is the team. It's Juan Diego, Jair, Alberto, Alexis, Alcides, Rodrigo, Daniel, Brian, Angie. Well, we are from Arequipa, Cusco, Huancayo, Lima, all of them going to every tambo for every region of Peru. And thank you for joining us on this important journey.
Thank you, Yair. Wow, I can't believe that you have been doing so much work in such a short period of time. So that's fantastic. Currently I don't.
Thank you.
And thank you all. Currently I don't see Adriana here in the chat. So we will move to our next speaker and see if she will join us later. So we will move with Mats. Is Mats here? I think I saw him.
Yep.
Hi.
Hello.
So welcome. So Mats will be explaining us the digital twins for the analog municipalities. So thank you with you, Matt.
Well, thank you very much, Jair. It was amazing, your presentation and the work you are doing. So my presentation entitles The Power of Interfaces of Knowledge Among Generations. So what is an interface of knowledge? Well, this is an areas where social friction can occur due to different backgrounds of knowledge. But there are two possible solutions, right? Or oppositions. One is that it harms innovation because we don't really understand each other, or actually it boosts innovation because we are really open to share knowledge. And this is what happens when some colleagues from Fabers from Peru and Spain came to Tijuana to help to develop, some modular houses for poor people here at Tijuana. So, what about interfaces among generations, interfaces of knowledge? Well, those become bigger, those increase. So, what happened when we have, for example, two generations? What happens is that older generations tend to impose into the younger generations. This is a common issue because of respect or a lot of things, right? But when we have three generations, things change. Margaret Mead, an anthropologist, called this the post, pre, and post, con, and prefigurative way of creating knowledge. Post-configurative is a top-down, when adults somehow say how to do things. Configurative is horizontal, and tensions arise, but somehow there is a good dialogue. It's an harmonic innovation. But prefigurative innovation is bottom up, and it comes from children, from the youngest, and this can boost radical innovation. So we saw that when we were at the Fab City Challenge in León, Guanajuato, when children show the power of this kind of open way of thinking to come to an innovation, especially when you are lacking of time and we don't have a lot of resources. The way that children think is a really, really very big resource, because they don't fear. They are open. The way that they think is somehow, yes, is a world where there are not somehow closed possibilities. So the challenge there was that this community, this local park, didn't have water to harvest because, as you can see in these images, the local politicians closed the channel that was bringing water to the park. Yeah, because they just decide to make a street, right? Streets are symbols of modernity. So somehow they destroy the ecosystem. And what we thought as adults, as post-configurative minds, well, first of all, we were thinking, what about if we somehow make channels in the mountains that were close where the water was coming, and then we restore the channels, and then we make a hole in the street and allow the water to go through the park. This was the way that we were thinking, right? Adult thinking. But somehow, children, especially a couple of children that were working with us in the challenge in those 3-4 days, they came with a novel idea, and one of those children knew about this capillarity way of getting water. And so we developed synthetic roots with this idea. At the beginning, we were doubting about this idea because somehow we didn't thought that it was so innovative, and we didn't really know if it could work or not. But of course, when we understood that we didn't have time, we didn't have resources to do this big change in the local infrastructure, we didn't have even the permits of the public servants, then we understood that this was a really good idea because it was open, it was free, it was innovative, and it was somehow easy to develop. So here, as you can see, the active involucration of the children developing the idea. And the message that I want to bring to you is that This quote of Margaret Mead that is very famous, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. In fact, it is the only thing that ever has. So I think that we have to ensure that children become those thoughtful, committed individuals by bringing them the best of digital Fab Lab technologies and synthetic biology to let them do what they do the best, to innovate with an open mind without fear of changing or of challenging ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Max. That was wonderful, and that's really aligned with our first talk from Rico and Sarah. We had a little confusion when now we have a new speaker that just showed up. So we're going to move now with Adriana Cabrera. I don't know if Enrico is here, but at least Adriana is here to present us about Fab Care.
Thank you so much, Norela. Do you hear me well?
Super.
Thank you. I'm very sorry because we are in another time zone and in the UK, so I just changed the schedule. But thank you so much for having us here. I will share my full screen. Hope you can see it. Man. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes,
yes.
perfect.
Okay, perfect. Yes. So I want to hello everybody. I am Adriana Cabrera. I am co-founder of this voluntary and initiative. The name is Fab Care. I am involved in another project that maybe you will hear today, but especially for these 5 minutes, I want to introduce this initiative that we start in 2019 together with Enrico Bassi, who is located in Milano, and he also was manager of the Fab Lab Open Dot. And when we start to work in this initiative, that it was many different projects thinking about solutions in accessibility. We said that these solutions sometimes exist but are not affordable or not available or not effective for user needs, and also sometimes not aesthetically well appealing. So we thought about Fab Care as a network for a group, for Fab Labs, for all that were close to our in the Fab Foundation, but also in several makerspace and universities that are working in topics of healthcare and well-being. And we start with Enrico to say, let's come and start with this project and also to understand that you are not alone, but you are in a network in which we could start step by step to be involved and to develop your own projects. So we developed a list of 10 steps how to start preparing and get involved in projects in healthcare. This is, for example, one of the examples, and also to have a gallery of different projects in which you could replicate, for example, at your lab. And also another important part for us was to think about how to start the dialogue and how to start co-creation, understanding the problematic of the users or the patients and caregivers, but also how you could implement digital fabrication techniques and technology cards as you see here. So one of the important parts that we have during the Fab Care was the Fab City challenges. And when we already, and challenges at all, we have like around 3 challenges in which we participate. The one in Bali, that is the 1,000 prosthetics with print 3D. That it was very interesting challenge in which we have at the end, like here we see like the patient, she was really very happy to at the end of the 5 days to have like a prosthetic and map the ecosystem there. And next year we were in Bhutan, and it was a very interesting challenge in which we had the chance with the Fab Lab CST to develop different kind of problems and understand also not about working with schools, with kids with special needs, and design in really 36 hours to design different kind of devices, but also to design a strategy for the school, how they could develop and deploy what we call alums, that it was especially like program for the school and for developing, as I said, in different years to start and work in the design. So here we have the group. It was we won this year the challenge, and we were very proud to see how it makes a huge impact in the community there. So now I will tell a little bit about the opportunities around the Fab Care, as we are starting, as I mentioned at the beginning, with assistive devices that are simple, that maybe everyone can use or not only for people with disabilities, but also just for kids, for example, for someone that needs such a tools to replicate it. Think about local manufacturing and reuse, for example, materials, and also a very important part that we did in the Fab Care was through this experience that we have with healthcare professionals, but also with the universities. We did different training and courses, as for example, accessathons, as you see in the left part, but also in the right part, like training for medical devices. And also Enrico and I, and especially this is a photo for a project from Enrico, who is teaching in the Politecnico University of Milano, developing, for example, in COVID, this device for keeping cold the vaccines and redesign or rehack, for example, a bottle of tea. But also with the experience we gathered, we had the opportunity to design more advanced projects, as for example, this one, in which we are embedding intelligence and having different kind of local resources made in the Fab Lab, but that it could be embedded and used in the healthcare and medical storage devices. And this, for example, was a very interesting training, especially developed for from Apropedia, starting to develop of a training for engineers in biomedical engineering. And yeah, finally, like talking about rehabilitation involving like facilities, also like how to design, for example, a lab in the hospital. So, for example, include these kind of practices, especially in rehabilitation centers, or as I said, in the hospitals. And this is like a little bit the story. I told this super fast, but that was the main idea for Fab Care. Here is the QR code if you want to join our group that is part of the Fab Foundation groups. And I hope that we also see each other, because our group, as I mentioned, is a voluntary group. We are very active, but especially during the Fab conference, but also during these kind of activities. So I really encourage you to join in a small like working group we will have there. And I just wanted to say thanks for the opportunity to share this experience with you. And if we have the time, I'm happy to answer questions at the end of the session. Thank you, Norella.
Thank you, Adriana, and great work that you and Enrico are trying to pull together. We invite you all to join. So moving along, now we are moving along with Mats Derbien with digital twins for the analog municipality. So Mats?
Yes, thank you. I will share my screen. I hope it works fine.
Yes, working great.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Mats. I work on the project FAB region in Germany, and I'm a former employee in a municipality, or still have very strong ties to the municipality in Solingen. And the title is, of course, a bit exaggerated. Not all the municipalities in Germany are analog, but I will come to that later. Let's start with the numbers. We have 11,000 municipalities in Germany and around 186,000 public buildings in it. And we spend around 5 billion euros per year on energy costs in the use phase of these public buildings. So we have a large volume of energy that is not efficiently used, and a lot of costs that come with it. And we have a political and societal goal in Germany to become climate neutral by 2045. And the building sector is a very big lever to achieve this goal of climate neutrality. But there comes some challenges along the way when it comes to this climate neutrality, and especially when in the work of municipalities. We have resources, financial resources, and a lack of staff that is able to deal with these kind of questions regarding implementing digital twins in municipalities. But we also have cultural habits in the work in municipalities. The structure within the teams is often very strict, it's hierarchical, and therefore changes cannot occur very fast. And we also experience a lack of empowerment when it comes to doing things and changing things on their own. Oftentimes, external providers are engaged to all sorts of work on buildings and restorations, etc. So we have these three challenges that often occur when it comes to buildings in municipalities. But there's also solutions on the rise, and one of the main aspects, in my opinion, is the creation of digital twins. So to create digital solutions or digital a part that comes along with the physical building. And two very central aspects are to actually know your building stock, know what you have in your communities, in your municipalities, and to start exploring what it actually means. And of course, we are talking about buildings. We're talking about a lifespan of at least 50 years. And it is important that you have a digital aspect to your building in order to keep the information alive, to know what's going on after 50 years when the building is finally at its end of the life cycle, and not create any black boxes. But of course, there's a very big but in this discussion, because you have to understand and mind the circumstance in municipalities. You have to understand there's a certain way of doing things that are complicated to change. It refers to the idea that a very strong and big process has to be implemented in order to drive change, in order to change any new way of doing things. So you have to implement a change in perspective. You have to empower an error culture in municipalities, and you have to give them time for testing. These are two aspects that are oftentimes not considered when it comes to new ideas in municipalities. And here comes our role in the project FAB region, because we can be a sort of crash test dummy when it comes to implementing and finding ways to use digital twins for public buildings to understand what it means and what effects it can create. Therefore, we can take the pressure off of the working staff in the municipalities and show them viable options and make the errors beforehand and give them the best solution there is. My key takeaways for you is that building creating digital twins for public buildings is key facilitator to achieve climate neutrality in the building sector. It is very important to know your buildings in order to understand what's inside and how you can work with it. And you can prioritize what's the next steps in terms of refurbishing and restoration and reusing materials in your buildings, in your public buildings. And of course, start exploring the opportunities and find and get your experts and expert knowledge back into the staff of the municipalities and reduce giving all the contracts to external partners and start working on them on your own. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. And I think continuing with the same region, I think now we're going to move on to Niels Kraft with building
Yes.
sustainable Fab region in Germany. So let's see how that reflects on the region, or maybe the other way around. So Niels.
Yeah, thanks. Hi everyone, I'm Niels. I'm also going to talk to you from the Fab region Bergisches Städtedreieck in the making from West Germany. You already heard my colleague Mats right now, and actually the speaker before, Adriana, is also a colleague of us in this project, although she presented her voluntary Fab Care project. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about our Fab region in the making, how we are approaching this and why we are doing it. Fab region Bergisches Städtedreieck, by the way, translates to city triangle. That will become important when I talk about who we are. Yeah, why we do it, how we use this make, learn, share approach, why we focused on our 3 core sectors in our activities, and how you can get in touch. So yeah, it's a city triangle. We are not a Fab city, we are a Fab region. 3 cities in the west of Germany: Wuppertal, Remscheid, and Solingen. Mats being the Solingen part of it. And we are a project that is consists of 8 strong partner organizations. We have a large university. We have 3 think and do tanks. We have 1 organization for regional economic development. And we have 3 innovation centers or labs that are kind of like the core of our project where everything happens. And very importantly for us, we are a project that is funded by the European Union and the state of North Rhine-Westphalia for 3 years. So we've been running for a little over a year and have a little less than 2 years left, which gives us a lot of opportunity and freedom to pursue all the things we are pursuing. And why are we actually doing this project? Because all of us want to contribute to a sustainable and circular transformation in our region, but also globally, which is why we chose this approach of becoming a Fab region. And concretely, we're doing that by connecting initiatives and places and labs, innovation centers in our region and beyond. And yeah, as I already mentioned, we have 3 of those core innovation centers as part of our project consortium as well. But yeah, we're going beyond those, developing places, labs, and forming a network. And we do that to enable people to do and act and make themselves in those places, but also themselves at home, maybe in labs. And to do that, we are developing a lot of different learning formats, analog for people to do in person, and also digitally, maybe using AI. And we are also piloting various mini projects. Yeah, we're working with a lot of different people here, from children and students to neighbors of our innovation centers and labs, to businesses, civil society organizations, and just trying to find opportunities to contribute to this sustainable and circular transformation in our region wherever possible, and piloting different things. And one of those projects is actually the one that Mats presented just before me. So yeah, you have a little practical idea of what those kind of projects could be. But there's a lot of diversity really, and yeah, a lot of collaboration among our partners and with the people that want to be involved from society. Yeah, in everything we do, we use this FAB standard make, learn, share approach. So we pilot those learning formats for interested people. We pilot circular business models and networking initiatives. Then we evaluate our impact, see what works, what doesn't work, and share those learnings back to the FAB community, other FAB cities and regions that we work with closely. And of course, everything we do also already builds on existing knowledge and resources from other FAB cities and regions and labs, FAB Labs, which we then adapt to our context. Again, learn what works for us, what doesn't work, give feedback. And that way we really co-create this circular and sustainable initiatives in our region and then globally. Yeah, we chose 3 focus sectors because, as you can imagine, almost every industry has the potential to become more sustainable and circular. So we kind of evaluated what would be the most opportunistic industries for us. In our region, we saw the biggest potential in the industries of food, textiles, and building. Building is, of course, what Mats previously presented. And then we also have the various projects and learning formats, things we're doing on food and textiles. Yeah, and for us, it would be really interesting to know if any of you have experiences in projects, sustainable circular initiatives that you have done in those kind of industries, in those sectors. We would love to know about that. Maybe you can meet with us in the FAB conference in July, or get in touch with us. Yeah, this is actually a picture just of our project for you to know who we are. You see Adriana here and Mats and me. Yeah, it would be nice if you get in touch if you have anything to share on food, textiles, or buildings. I think it's really nice to collaborate with the global community as well. Yeah, and thanks for listening.
Thank you, Niels. I think it's really inspiring to see all the different approaches that our region can do. And I think here with we have excellent examples of how that can be possible. We started from Mexico, Rico from Japan, but also representing the Mexico Challenge. And then we went all the way now to Europe. And now we're actually going back to Latin America. So we're going to go with Roberto Gallo with applying Fab Academy locally in Ecuador. So we're going to go to a different part of the world. So Roberto, are you there? I see him. There you
Hi,
go.
Nori.
Hi, Roberto.
How are you? So, yes, I'm presenting, just do some stuff here. Thanks for the opportunity to present some ideas, so you are looking my screen.
Yes, it should be loading, so we see it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Yes, so I want to share our experience as Fab Lab Soy. We are an independent Fab Lab. We've been doing this like 12 years. So we find that Fab Academy is a nice program that allows us to solve local problems. As we focus as Soy, we have this local problem and we have this Fab Lab concept, no? So we join this theory that is, in this case, Fab Academy or Fabric Academy. We've been doing also Bio Academy. And with the network, we joined all this knowledge and turns this problem into a solution. So for us, it's super important the people, no? And I think machines, the places, and all the projects won't be able with people, no? Without people. So, you know, we are a lot in the world. Ecuador is a small country, is the same area as Italy. We have a low population. We are not massive. We don't have a mass production in all our country. And we have necessity and great people. So we start the lab. When we started, the lab looked like that, like 10 years ago. And we were doing some collaborate work with other designers and architects. And now we look like this. It's a nice workshop, like a big one, and we manage a lot of projects, and we enjoy it a lot to do stuff as the most of makers that we are involved in the network. And in the Fab Academy, we develop a lot of skills, and we have, you know, like these ideas coming into reality. But what we saw like a problem is that these ideas normally don't get a market or get a financial or get no, I don't know, like a business model that sustain that ideas, no? This Ismael was a school student, and he involved in Fab Academy, and he was one of the first Fab Academies that end all the program faster than others. And I've been enjoying sharing the knowledge and sharing with a lot of people. I've been doing this with students, also with professors, also with hackers, and formed these amazing people. So what we understand in our Fab Lab is that it's really important to find a way how these ideas come in reality and sustain in the time, no? Or find some I don't know, like sustainable way, no? This is a house that we did in our lab, helping architects. A lot of our students were involved in this house. As you see, it's a sustainable house. This also replicates in Galapagos area because it has a super ecological materials and methods. We also did in the pandemic, as most of the labs, you know, like face shields. We cover all the Ecuadorian first line of COVID, like a donation, and then we find a way to keep this project alive. And it was by doing another model that was selling for the people, and the 10% of our income were donated to. So we find the way how these projects keep in the time. And I've been involved in find a way how to survive as a independent lab, because we have just our work and incomes to keep alive. We faced a lot of crises like COVID and other crises involved with like America, like Latin America. Last year we were with a energy crisis. We were having 3 hours of energy, in Ecuador. And how you keep doing what you are doing when you have just 3 hours of energy, so it was really, really difficult, but all these crises find us, and we face it, and we find a way how to solve problems, how to solve our work, or like how this lab keep alive. So
1 minute.
Yeah, thanks. This is a project that we were selling to a retail, and is wood, is solid wood, and we are doing others. I will show just one more. And what I want to tell you is that Fab Labs are projects, are people, and machines, but the most important thing is the people. Yeah, you might remember this event and these people. And this is the last project that we are involved. Is packaging for the most expensive chocolate in the world. That is an Ecuadorian species, and Ecuador is the third country that exports cacao in the world. So this kind of projects could make your Fab Lab alive. If you tell me some years ago you were doing packaging, I was like saying no, I don't think so. So what we are focused now is to make a network for producing a lot of this kind of products, and keep these Fab Academy projects or others alive. Thanks, Nori. That is everything.
Thank you, Roberto. What a wonderful pathway that you have gone through and where you are now. So congratulations. And now to finish the last session of today, we're gonna go to Tom Sobol. Sorry, sorry, I'm not pronouncing that in the correct way, but hi, Tom, and he will be explaining us the production and training capabilities of a Fab Lab in Russia. So with you.
Thank you, and good day to all.
You need to mute your other Tom or lower the volume. There?
Yes, it's off. I will use some cheat sheet. In Russia, the equivalent of of Fab Labs as the center of youth innovative creativity. I share my screen. Our Fab Labs specialize in 3D technologies. We can digitize anything to produce a digital model using the available equipment. I want to show two of our Fab Labs.
Are you going to share your screen? We're not seeing your share screen, just so you know.
Так, one moment.
Okay. Here we have another time.
One moment, one moment. Come on. We occupy an area of about a 100 meter located on the territory of Farmer Electronic Instrument Making Plant. We have two zones, production zone, and the teaching zone or education zone. In the education zone, we have computer class, many 3D printers, photopolymer printers, Polish printers, China printers. We have VR helmets, 3D scanners, large printers for make posters. This is Robert Chappie. Hello, Chappie. In the production zone, we have shelves with electric and hand tools, pens, workbench, CNC milling machine, CNC laser machine with CO2 lamp, painting area, welding machine, and compressor. We have souvenir showcase. The printing onto the printer and make on laser other things. Yeah. This. One moment. Here we assemble models, industrial treatment facilities. This is a maquette of a drone, open racer, to use in school. Okay, thank you.
Are we done, Tom?
I'm here. I tried to share my screen.
Are you going to share your screen now? Yes. Okay. Okay, we're going to go a little bit longer. So if you can hold on to us for a couple of minutes and then we finish our presentations and then that will be it. But let's wait a little bit. So what we just saw, I think, for those who came late, we were doing a tour onto a Fab Lab. Where Tom is located in Russia. I'm not sure where. So Tom, if you could let us know where in Russia are you located?
I can't find button to share my screen.
You can.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to be like time-wise, especially for those who joined us, that I know they need to go probably to other meetings. Can you explain us a little bit of what were you going to tell us? Or do you need your presentation? Good. You're gonna stop there? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Well, that was amazing. I think I was not expecting to see a lab tour this morning or today, sorry, because you are all in different time zones. And we are 2 minutes over, so I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you for being here. And I want to invite you to our second session of Fab Month. It's going to take place on the 14th of April. And we're going to be talking about emergent technologies, circular making and scaling impact. So stay tuned, and thank you all for your time this morning. I hope this is a space for you to connect with others around the world. And we will be sharing the presentation on our socials. So thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Gracias.
Bye bye.
Adiós.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.